Yes.
So till now we have studied. So we know what is integer, we know what is string, we know what is float, boolean. Then in collections we have C set, tuple, dictionary, and then we have set, tuple, dictionary we have studied, and list. So these are inbuilt data types, right? So all these are inbuilt data type. And I'm looking for now user defined data type. User defined data type. So what are user defined data type? Yeah. Data type. So let's say quickly share the whiteboard. So when I talking about inbuilt data type, let's say for example, I have one. So this is one box, right? Let's say this is list. So list is basically given to us by the Python people, right? And this list has many, let's say method can, so whatever I can remember, append, inbuilt method, append, pop, and there is extend method, right? And when you write something like this, let's say names equal to, and you say Chinmay, Ram, um, Sham. When you're writing like this, behind the scenes, what is happening? Behind the scenes, what is happening? Memory is getting created, right? And the address of the memory is basically names. And all because the type of this, because type of names is list, right? Because of the type of name is list, all the things which are available on the list will be readily available on this. So this names is the object of list, right? So you will get the method here. You will get append here. Okay. Then you can say pop here. Every method available on the list will be available here. Now how you basically call, let's say if you want to add another name to it, so you will say on that particular memory names dot append name dot append Sham, like this. Or you say Satish. So this way what will happen? The things will get appended. Tomorrow if you basically create another list like cities equal to Pune, Nagpur, Mumbai, Pune, Nagpur, Mumbai. Same another object of list will be created. So another object of this will be created. What will be the address of this? Address will be cities, and what is available on the cities will be available. So what is the type of cities? List, and what is available on the list data type will be also available here. Append of, in fact, all the methods, not only these three, all the methods of the list. And if you want to add something to the cities, then you have to call it on the reference variable cities dot append happened? Nagpur. Similar is the case with another data types. We have also studied another data type. Let's say we talk about let's say string. You this is already given to us by the language string data type. So here are the methods lower, upper, and when someone creates the object like this, so we are basically creating object of string. When someone like says like the first underscore name equal to Chinmay, so someone is creating object of this first underscore name, object of string. So behind the scene, what is happening? An object is getting created. What is the address of this object? First underscore name. What is the value here? Value is Chinmay. So what is the type of first underscore name is string. So what is available on the string will be available here. Which methods? Lower, upper. And now if you want to make Chinmay uppercase, what you have to call? You have to call it on the reference. So you say first underscore name, which is the object reference, dot upper. So here we are creating the object of, if you understand this, here we are creating the object of this line basically creates the object of string, and first underscore name is the reference variable address of it. Now we are trying to create our own data type. Let's say user defined data type, because the data type provided by the language is not sufficient. So what we can do, let's say you can have your own data type. Let's say I will call that person data type. The data type will have properties and methods. Let's say this will have properties and this will have methods. So properties can be, let's say for a person there can be a first name, last name, roll number, age, and method can be walk and talk. So I have defined the data type, user defined data type. Now when I write something like this, let's say I write Amul equal to person. What is happening behind the scenes? Another memory is getting created. Another memory is getting created. Address of the memory is Amul. And type of Amul is person. So whatever is available on the person, let's say, will be available here. First underscore name, last underscore name, roll number, age, and the method walk and talk. This will be available. So this Amol is the object of person or instance of person. And what is the data type of Amol? Data type of Amol is person. Let's say tomorrow you write something like this. Chinmay equal to person. Behind the scenes, what will happen? Another memory will be created. What is the address of this memory? Chinmay. What is the type of this? Type of this is type of this type of Chinmay is what? Type of Chinmay is person only. So whatever is available on the person will be available here. Let's say first underscore name, first name, last name, roll number, age, walk, and talk. It will be available. If you want to update Chinmay's name, you will say Chinmay dot first name equal to new value. So Chinmay's value will be updated because every object will have separate memory. But what is the type of Amul and Chinmay? Type of Amul and Chinmay is person. Type of Amul is person. That's why whatever you define on the template will be available on the objects, on these objects. Let's try to implement this now. So let's say, for example, now I am defining a data type, let's say class person, and I am saying def underscore underscore init. So I am defining a constructor. So this is a constructor which will basically create the properties. So you will make mistake while writing this. It should be underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Let's say for this person, I want to set the, let's say, four properties I need to set. So self, say I'm saying self dot first name equal to Chinmay. I'm setting the value of first name to Chinmay. Self dot last name to Deshpande. Self dot age equal to 30, and self dot roll number equal to, let's say, 44. And I'm also defining one method, display name, where I will be writing print this dot self dot first name plus self dot. Now let's say I want to create an object of this. I will explain what is self. Let's say this is a constructor. Okay, this is called as constructor to set the instance variable, and this is the instance method. Now what is happening here? Let's say, for example, when I create the object, I say Chinmay equal to person. So if I print type of Chinmay, so it will belong to class person. So if I right click and run this, it belongs to class person. See, class person. And because it belongs to class person, all the properties which are mentioned on the person will be coming into this Chinmay. So on Chinmay, I can access four properties, which is first name, last name, age, and roll number. The memory will be created for the Chinmay reference variable or Chinmay object, you can say. So if you print, you can get here is Chinmay dot first name, Chinmay dot last name, Chinmay dot age, and Chinmay dot roll number. If you right click and run this, you will get this Chinmay Deshpande. Yes, Chinmay Deshpande 30 and 44. You can also call one method on it. Let's say Chinmay dot display name. If you call this method and if you right click and run this, you will say you will get the first name plus last name is Chinmay Deshpande. If you're, okay, let me make this full screen. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, you see Chinmay Deshpande is getting printed, right? So here, if you call the method, first name plus last name will be printed. Yeah. So the problem with this is that this class is that if I create another object, let's say Amol equal to person, still I can able to access these four properties: first name, last name, age, and roll number. So this is template. From this template, we are creating objects. But now the problem is that when I created the object of Amol also, my first name value will be, I have hard coded the value. So when I created the object of Amol, then the self value will be Amol. So Amol dot first name will set to Chinmay. Amol dot last name will set to Deshpande. Amol dot age will set to 30. Amol dot roll number is set to 40. Now this is the major problem because the values are hard coded here, and every person cannot have first name Chinmay, last name as Deshpande, age as 30, and roll number as 44. So when you create another object also, because by default in the template the values are hard coded, you will get the same. Let's say for example, if I say print Amol dot first name, similarly if I say print Amol dot last name, age and roll number, you say Amol dot display name. You right click and run this. See, still we are getting the same values for this also. So now for Amol you need to change, then you can change outside. For only Amol reference variable if you want to change, you can say. So now when you basically retrieving the value, so when you so this value will be Amol. So this self means not this self. Self means the reference variable on which you are calling. So when I called Amol dot display name, the value of self was Amol. So it will return me Amol dot first name plus Amol dot last name, whatever is on that reference variable. Now what is happening? Because we have the hard coded values here, we need to basically update outside the class. So let's say Amol dot first name. We are updating the value. Say I say Amol dot first name to be Amol. Amol dot last name. Amol dot last name to be Rao. Amol dot age to be 77. Amol dot roll number to be 22. And now if you call the Amol display method on the Amol, you will see right click and run. The value is updated for Amol Rao. Now the name of the first name and last name is updated for the this reference variable, not for this. So this is a basic example of the class. Now what is the problem with this? We cannot every time we cannot go outside the class and update the values, right? There should be a mechanism where you when you create the object, the value should be different. The values can be set different for every object. Now we can achieve this using constructor. So let's create a class which does not has the hard coded values. So let's say this is program 2. So when I'm creating this program 2, let's say, for example, I am basically writing a class and I say person B and I am saying def keyword underscore underscore in it. This is and this say first name, last name, age, and roll number. And you can say self dot first name equal to self dot first name equal to first name. So this is parameters and we are setting up the values on the reference variable on which we'll call when creating the constructor. We need to set the four values. So you say let's self dot last name. So let's self dot last name equal to last name. Self dot age equal to age. Self dot roll number equal to roll number. And display name. There is method which is display name. and you can print self dot first name plus self dot last name. Now this constructor of B which belongs to person B has receiving four parameters. Let's say for example, if I'm creating object, I say Sarika equal to new person B. When I'm creating the object of this, I need to pass four values. So I say Sarika, I have to pass Pansare, I have to pass age, and I have to pass roll number. Similarly, when creating object here also, now when I'm creating the object, I'm sending the values, right? So let's say I'm saying Amol, saying Ram, saying Amol now, say this age and this roll number. So you need to understand from here, you need to understand this. That now when I'm calling it, I'm creating the Sarika reference and these four values will be received here. And Sarika dot first name will be Sarika, Sari dot last name will be Pansare, Sarika dot age will be 23, and Sarika dot roll number will be 45. When I'm creating on the reference variable Amol, self value will be Amol. So the Amol dot first name will be Amol, Amol dot last name will be Rao, Amol dot age will be 30, and Amol dot roll number will be 45. So self value depends on the memory you are calling on it or reference variable you are calling on it. Okay. So let's say tomorrow I call display method. Now because what will be the type of Sarika and per Amul? The type of Sarika and Amul will be the type of Sarika and Amul will be display name. Sorry, person B. If you print, it is a type of person B. If you print type of person B, sorry, not type of person B, type of Sarika. If you print type of Amul, right click and run, you will be getting person B. Now this Amol and Sarika will have how many properties? Amol and Sarika will have, let's say, four properties: first name, last name, age, and roll number. So if you come here and if you print it, you print Amol dot first name, Amol dot last name, Amol dot age, print Amol dot roll number. And similarly, you can print Amol Chinmay dot first name, Chinmay dot last name, Chinmay dot age, Chinmay dot roll number. Because we have set the different values for both, I think it's not Chinmay, it should be Amol here. Because you have set the different values for both, this time you will get the different values. Oh no, second object was Sarika. Sorry. So it should be Sarika here, not Amol. So you have set the different values for both the objects, right? So you'll be getting different results. See, once you are getting Sarika and other way you are getting values for Amol. And you can call the method also on it. So Amol dot display name and Amol dot display Sarika dot display name. Save, right click, run. So this time when you create object itself, we are setting the values. So no hard coded values. This is the best approach. This is the best way of writing the code. Yeah. Now let's jump to the program 3 where we will see the difference between the instance. So here, let's support something. So now we'll talk about the difference between difference between so we'll talk about the difference between the instance variable and class variable. So we need to talk about in difference between instance and class variable. Okay, so let me quickly jump to so let's say for example, let's say this is a class I have defined and the class is basically person. Now I will be creating object out of this, right? Let's say I will be creating object. Let's say I have created three objects. So I have created Amol here. I have created let's say Sarika here, and I have created let's say Purva here. So this basically is of type person. Let's say I have two boxes here also. Let's say across the whole object, if I want something common, I will define a class level variable. So this is called as class variable. When you say something belongs to a class variable or something belongs to class, okay? So what I mean by that, will be the things will be common across all the objects. Let's say I have defined one variable, class variable, where I say country equal to India. Let's say Bharat. Now this is a class level variable. So whatever I define here is a class level variable, and whatever you want a different values for the particular object, you will define that in the constructor that which we already seen, right? So let's say we can have here is first underscore name, last underscore name, country, and age. And then you can also obviously have methods here. So let's say we'll create one more box for the method which is display name. You already have that one, which is display name. So there is a method called as display name. So now when you create the object, basically Amol will have the separate things for the you are basically setting this value with the constructor. So Amol have different first name, Amol will have different last name, Amol will have different country, and Amol will have different age. Same will be the scenario for Sarika. Will have different first name, will have different last name, will have different country, will have different age. Same with Purva. The things which are different will be first underscore name, last underscore name, country, age, and all these are pointing where. So this will be separate for every object, and the type of Purva, Sarika, and Amul will be person. So you can on these three objects you can call basically display name. That's fine. But what about this country equal to Bharat, right? All across all these three objects, this is common. So these objects will be pointing it here, and this is called as class level variable. You can directly access this country variable on the person class name. You can basically directly access it on the class name. So all the three objects are pointing it here only. So this is class level variable. Now let's say for example on another day if you basically go and change Amul dot country equal to Nepal. So the connection from here will be broke, right? Now no longer Amul will basically refer to the common memory. And another property will be created here, country equal to Nepal for Amul only because you are basically changing something on Amul reference. You're changing something on the Amol reference. So now Amol is no longer pointing to the class level variable, but it has its own property country and the value Nepal. This Sarika and Purva object we are still referring to the country object. Country, sorry, class level variable country. This much is fine. So now if you want to change this variable, you don't want to change it on the reference. Here you see you change it on the reference. So basically another property gets added here on the reference variable. I don't want to change it on the reference. I want to change on the global class level. Then you need to write class methods. What we need to write? We need to write class method for this. How to write the class method are basically we write the class methods. Why we write class methods? We write class methods to change the class level values. So we write the class methods to change the class level values. Okay, let's stop this. Go back to the code. If you come here now again, now you see clearly I'm writing another class. I say person C this time, and I'm defining a class variable here. Class variable I am defining here is, let's say, country equal to India. Country equal to India. And now def keyword to set the four values. I have here is first name FN, last name LN, age AG, and Aadhaar number or roll number, whatever it is, Aadhaar number, let's say. So Aadhaar number is 123, let's say. I am setting up these values. So I am setting up the values like self dot first name equal to FN, self dot last name equal to LN, self dot age equal to AG, and self dot Aadhaar number equal to now here self dot display name equal to self dot first name plus self dot last name. Now you see this is a template for creating objects, and I have only one class level variable which is India. So now if I basically create object out of this, let's say I create the object something like this. Ram equal to person C. Now to this constructor, to set the values, I need to fire four properties which I am sending. Nani, I said this. I have set the four properties. And when I can basically, I have created this, I have set the four properties. I'm creating another object, let's say. Instead of Sham, we have Sham, Sham, 21, 44. Now you have Sham Radhe 21 and 44. Now this is another property, another object. Now on these both objects, I can access these four properties, and I can also access this common property which is country. So let's say I say print Amol dot Ram dot country. So it will give me India. If I print Sham dot country, it will give me India only. So if I right click and run this, see both way I am getting India only. Now this they are referring to the class level variable. But if I change something particularly on the RAM, if I say country equal to, let's say Bharat, then only for RAM. Now RAM is no longer pointing to this class variable. RAM will have created their instance variable, sorry, instance property, or you can say field. where for only the Ram is country is updated to Bharat. So if you rightly can run this, only for Ram it's Bharat. If you create another object, which let's say you created Ganesh, let's say if you create Ganesh for Ganesh also, for Ganesh also, the value of country will be still the value of the country will be India only. So if you rightly can run, see for Ganesh it's India only. Only for Ram you have updated it. So only for that reference will be updated. Let me quickly show you on the this port only. Only here it will be updated. Both of these will be pointing to same here. Now if I want to change this value, directly if I want to change this value, not on the particular object, I want to change this value, then we have is class level methods. So class level methods basically if you say, you can write it here. If you want to change something on the class level, then it has to, there should be decorator. We'll talk about decorators. It's a advanced Python topic. So you should have add direct class method. And what you need to do, you need to update the country, right? So you say update country. Update country with what? So this is it. Now every time it's self. Self is basically self belongs to a particular instance, right? So when I say self, self belongs to a particular instance, right? But this time it's not self, it's CLS. So CLS stands for class. Self is different, class is different. Class level method it is. So now on the class level person C, I will be receiving the another country name if I want to update country at global level. So and then I will say person C. I can access it on the class name directly and I say the class level methods need to be updated with whatever the value the user has sent. So now before creating all the objects, if I call this method which is update country, so I can say person dot update country and I'm saying the country to be now Bharat or let's say USA. So now across all the objects Ram, Sham and Ganesh, if I comment this where I'm updating on a particular instance, because I have called this update person dot update country method and passed the USA, this value at the global level will be changed to USA. So what I mean by that, when I write the class level method, I can directly call it on the class name. And what I'm trying to say with respect to the whiteboard, if you go and check, I am saying this value is directly updated now. And this is made USA. So class level variable is updated. Okay. And all these three are pointing to this USA only. But if you write something like on an instance, you change something, then it will never point it there. It will create its own property and have its own value. So this is difference between a class level variable and instance level variable. I think this much is sufficient for you to write for one day. You want me to teach more or this is fine?
Fine.